Hello, and welcome back to Freedom from Fire. During these strenuous times, managing social distancing and making sure that we continue to follow appropriate safety guidelines, Freedom from Fire will continue to embrace the digital method via Zoom. We strive consistently, as always, to bring valuable content and information to our viewers, as well as providing our amazing interviews. For this episode, we have a special guest who continues to make history both in the Philadelphia Fire Department as well as in the Club Valiants fraternal organization. So please stay tuned. Hello, and welcome back to Freedom from Fire. I'm your host, Firefighter Kamilah Bayete. I'm currently stationed in our department's Fire Prevention Division, where community risk reduction efforts are a primary goal. Here at Freedom from Fire, we aim to improve your quality of living by giving you fire and life safety information. We also introduce you to our local safety partners. Although Philadelphia had a tradition of volunteer fire service dating back to the 18th century, Blacks had always been excluded from serving. Philadelphia did not hire its first Black firefighter, Isaac Jacobs, until 1886. Jacobs was stationed at Engine 11, located at 1016 South Street. However, although designated a hoseman, he was relegated to caring for the company's horses. In 1905, Philadelphia hired its second African-American firefighter, Stephen E. Presco. Unlike Jacobs, Presco actually fought fires. Presco died in the line of duty in 1907 in a factory blaze. Engine 11 became the firehouse where all African-American firefighters were stationed, often working under white supervisors and chiefs. As the numbers grew, the second station African-Americans were assigned was Fireboat 1, Edwin S. Stewart, located at Pier 3 on North Ray Street. On February 19, 1949, 11 African-American firefighters were transferred from Fireboat Edwin S. Stewart and Engine 11 to other companies throughout the city of Philadelphia. In 1952, Philadelphia's fire service was desegregated. As the decades passed, we began to see women enter the department. In 1985, Pauletta Kennedy became the first African-American woman to serve as firefighter in the Philadelphia Fire Department. Since then, we have seen many more African-American women make history in the department. One of those women is here with us today. We welcome Battalion Chief Lisa Forrest. An 18-year veteran of the Philadelphia Fire Department, Chief Forrest was the first female fire lieutenant assigned to Engine 50, one of the busiest engine companies in the nation, the first African-American woman in the department to achieve the rank of captain, and also the first African-American woman in the department to be promoted to Battalion Chief. As a hazmat chief, Chief Forrest oversees Battalion 1, which houses 6 engines and 3 ladders in the 5th largest fire department in the nation. Chief Forrest is also the first female president of Club Valiants, the fraternal organization for Black firefighters. Chief, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me today. I appreciate it.
All right. So Chief, I wanted to start by, so the last time you were on the show, you were a captain, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so some things have changed since then. You were promoted to battalion chief.
Yes, in September 29th, 2020, I made battalion chief.
Okay, well, congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
All right, and so tell me, how has the transition been since then, since you were first promoted to chief?
Of course, it's more responsibility and more people that I am responsible for, but it's a task that I'm up to, that I've been preparing for, and I'm excited to be in a position, especially because I hold dual roles as a firefighting chief and a hazmat chief. So I get to play 2 roles at one time.
Excellent. So also the last time you were here, you shared with us how you got through the academy, how you made it through the academy. So now we would like to know how you progressed through the ranks of fire officer. I'm sure that was hard. It's not easy becoming an officer and moving up in rank. So tell us what that process was like.
Well, first of all, you can never forget your beginnings. And I have humble beginnings. I started the Fire Academy back in 2003, December 8th, 2003. And it was not easy. But I remember having people that pushed me back then. And the same people that were in my corner back then have been in my corner as I progressed through the ranks. And that's the thing. A lot of times people think that they get to places on their own because they study, because they put in the hard work. And that is true. But we all stand on someone's shoulders. And I am the product of a whole lot of people. So what you see is a whole lot of people that poured into me to be who I am today. And now I have a responsibility to bring more.
Okay, so are there any specific challenges that you can describe of being an African American female fire officer that you can share with us?
Absolutely. So many don't know, but I'm 4'10". When I came in, I was 100 pounds. Not that anymore, but coming in, small stature, the equipment is heavy. It's not an easy task, and you have to prove yourself in. So then here it is when I made lieutenant back in 2008. It was the same thing. Although I didn't have to carry all the equipment that I carried as a firefighter, I had to show that I could supervise people into burning buildings or whatever the situation presented. So then, lieutenant, I had to do that, for one, that I knew what I was doing, and then that I could supervise other people into doing tasks. So, lieutenant, went to one of the busiest engine companies in the nation, and I proved the naysayers wrong, so to speak. Then went on to do a few other things in between before making captain. I made captain in 2013. And I'm going to tell you this, I didn't set out to be the first African American female fire captain. I just wanted to do the job and do it well. So I studied and just, learned the job as much as I could. And every opportunity for me to take the test, I just took the test. So here it is, same thing. What makes you worthy of being a captain? Can you supervise other lieutenants and firefighters and, be up to the task? So once again, I had to prove myself doing that as well. And a lot of women, per se, when we get to a certain point where we're proving ourselves, sometimes we don't want to step out of our comfort zone because we have proven ourselves. So we're like, okay, they're leaving me alone, and I'm okay. But I realized that this thing is bigger than me, and I had to keep on going because there are people watching me in the fire service and outside the fire service. So when the opportunity came up to take the battalion chief test, it wasn't, because I want to be the first. It was because I want to inspire as many people as possible. If I can do it, that they can do it as well.
So with that in mind, can you tell us what has been the biggest challenge for you transitioning from fire captain to battalion chief?
Well, the good part about it is that I got an opportunity to act out of rank as a captain. So I kind of knew what I was getting into before I got into it. So that was a good thing that I got a preview of the job. But on the flip side of it, acting and being a real thing is two different things. So you can't pass it off and say, hey, I'm here for the day. So it has been a transition and making decisions. Not to say that I didn't have to make decisions as a captain, which I did. And now I'm making even more decisions. And even to the point where I can't say as a captain, I would say, all right, let me call the chief and I'll get back to you on certain things. But now I am the chief, so I have to make that decision. So it has been a small transition into not being able to call the battalion chief for certain things, but nothing that I couldn't handle because acting out of rank prepared me for the position.
Okay, so when I came on the job, I had a group of people telling me, wait about 10 years, get a lot of firefighting experience before you take the lieutenant's exam. Then I had another group saying, do not wait, take it as soon as you can, as soon as you're eligible, because you can end up getting too comfortable. So what would you say about that? What is your view on that?
There's no cookie cutter way to do things. Some people, because of their maturity, is best that they do wait. Because, some you can come on this job as early as 18 years old. You have some people that this is their first job. They never had to answer to anyone. Now, with me, I came on at 22, but by the time I came on at 22, I had leadership roles, or I was a manager. So my being a manager at an early age prepared me to lead and supervise people in the fire service. So I say that everybody is different. You can't say that, just because you're 18 and well, really, when you're 18, then you have to wait 4 years to take your first exam. So you can't say that at 22 that you won't be prepared to take it. There's some 22-year-olds that are very sharp and are very progressive that are great in a leadership role. And there are some people at 42 that's still trying to figure it out. And they need to first learn how to lead themselves as opposed to trying to lead others. So I say that you have to do what's best for you. And if it's taking a test right away, why not? But one of the things that I did coming onto this job, I talked to so many different people. I didn't care what rank you were. I talked to a lot of people, and I got a lot of people take on the job. And the firefighters that retired from the job, like I would ask them, as they were retiring, what is one of the things that you regretted? And I'm telling you, every firefighter, every person that retired at the rank of firefighter had the same answer. And that was, the only regret that I had on this job is that I never took the test to get promoted. So I took that. I didn't want to have that regret in life.
Well, I thank you so much for sharing that. It is important to get a variety of perspectives, and it's also definitely good to talk to retired firefighters as well. So that's good information for everyone that's listening. So we're going to take a short break, but when we return, we're going to keep this awesome conversation going. So please stay tuned.
As birthplace to the first volunteer fire companies, Philadelphia is home to one of the nation's premier fire museums. Fireman's Hall Museum displays the city's fire history in addition to promoting fire safety. You can visit Fireman's Hall Museum in Old City at 147 North 2nd Street. Visit firemanshallmuseum.org to learn more, or watch the museum's show, Curator's Corner, on LaSalle TV.
Welcome back to Freedom from Fire. I'm your host, Firefighter Kamilah Bayete. We are talking to Battalion Chief Lisa Forrest about her career in the Philadelphia Fire Department. Although Philadelphia's fire service was desegregated in 1952, true integration proceeded slowly over the following 2 decades. There remained a need for mutual support and equal rights for Black firefighters. So, in 1962, Fire Lieutenant Samuel Singleton formed Club Valiants Incorporated, one of the founding chapters of the International Association of Black Professional Firefighters. The Valiants provided mutual assistance to members and continued the fight for equal rights and integration within all levels of the fire department through legal action and political pressure. Today, the group continues to serve Philadelphia's African American firefighters and their communities. So, Chief Forrest, this year, Club Valiant celebrated its 60th anniversary, correct?
Yes, March 1962, Club Valiants was formed. So we haven't reached 60 yet, but we're well on our way to reaching 60.
Okay, excellent. And then, so you've also made some history with Club Valiants as the first female president of the organization. Is that right?
Yes. And I did not set out to be the president of Valiants. So a lot of times people see things in you that you don't see in yourself. You know, I always had a big mouth even before I came on to the fire department. And with my small stuff, I had a loud voice speaking against what was right and what was fair. So I had a past president come to me, Claude Smith, God rest his soul. He came to me and said, "You're going to be the first female president of Club Valiants." And I told him, "Claude, you tripping. Like, no, I'm not." Like, I'm okay with doing the work. At the time, I was on the board of directors, and I was comfortable in that position, doing what I could do in that position. But he said, "No, I'm telling you." And in 2016, I became the first female president of Club Valiants and have been in a position ever since.
Wow. Wow. Well, congratulations on that as well. Are there any interesting experiences you had when you first took on the role as the president?
Interesting. It's funny because coming on, it wasn't too hard of a transition coming on as the president, because by that time I had been on the board of directors for 6 years. So I kind of got a taste of, being in leadership in the department. But then a few years, some controversy kind of sparked up within the fire department, and not even the fire department, but with our union, that caused a little separation amongst the members. So I had to speak up, and that so happened to be on my promotion day. So you saw the pictures and everybody was happy, but in the background, I was being a president of Valiant. So I got promoted at like 10 o'clock in the morning, and took a few pictures, and then after that, I was in my president role in Valiant. So it never stops. Just because you may have something going on personally, the job still has to get done. And I stepped up to the plate. And my family understood that, we'll get opportunity to celebrate. But at this time, right now, I have to take care of some business. And that's who I am. I tried now to take days off, but it's tough.
And that definitely, wearing many hats does come with, a lot of work, a lot of challenges, and being able to manage all those different things simultaneously.
That's what they say. Heaven is the head that wears the crown.
Absolutely. So just recently, the Valiants did a 12-day smoke alarm installation campaign. Tell us more about that.
Yes. So on January 5th, that tragedy happened where we lost 12 citizens of Philadelphia. So it was laid on the hearts of the members. See, I represent the whole membership. This is not, a Lisa thing. This is not a Battalion Chief Forrest thing. When I put on my uniform or put on my Valiants hat, I represent, that organization that I took an oath to represent. So it was laid on the hearts of the members to do something. We see that there's a need. So we didn't want to wait to do anything, and we knew that we could do something right away. So we knew that it was a backlog of, smoke alarm requests. We came to the fire prevention unit and asked, how could we help? And how the 12-day campaign came, because we wanted to honor every life lost. So each day was dedicated to each life lost. So that's how that 12-day came up. It wasn't 12 consecutive days, because we had off-duty firefighters, off-duty paramedics, and off-duty EMTs that, took part of this 12-day campaign. And what we did was, it wasn't just about putting smoke alarms up, but we had, boots on the ground, and we were educating the community, just on some things that we think is simple. It may not be simple to others. So it was more than just putting up smoke alarms. We wanted to educate the community and to hopefully prevent the tragedy from happening again. So that's what we did. We went out on our off time and we knocked on as many doors as we could, hundreds of doors we knocked on and put up hundreds of smoke alarms up. And it was a good feeling for everybody, you know, a good feeling for the ones that were doing it in the community. They opened their homes up to us and they were happy to see us. So it was just a great feeling.
Wow.
In a bad time.
Yeah, in a bad time. Can you tell me how many smoke alarms you ended up installing?
We're still counting the numbers. So
okay.
Making sure that we give accurate numbers because everything is numbers. But I could tell you when we were at the 6-day mark, we had visited 200 homes and installed over, I believe, 300 smoke alarms.
Wow.
And that was just the halfway through. So I don't want to give you numbers that are not accurate. I can, surely get back to you on that. But I'm telling you, we had people out there, and I'm just so grateful. In MLK Day, we had a Temple football team, new Beta 5, which is a fraternity, a military fraternity, and Clutch Kings, which is a motorcycle. We had some individuals that came out on their own as well to help us with this campaign and keep as many citizens of Philadelphia safe as possible.
That's excellent. And it's great to see different organizations working together, which is so important in the work that the fire department does and having those relationships with the community. So can you tell us about any more programs that you guys are affiliated with, or community organizations, or anything else you're doing in the community currently?
Absolutely. So every testing process, we offer free classes for people that want to get on the job. We were the also first recruitment unit before it became official, and through our fights, we were able to get the fire department to have a full-time recruitment unit. And before there was an actual fire prevention, Valiants had his own fire prevention going on, and it was all across the nation where firefighters saw the devastation of not having smoke alarms. So we were one of the first, the African Americans across the nation were the first form of fire prevention, and Valiants was in on that years ago. So the initial thought behind Valiants was to get people together, get the African American men, because that's all it was at that time, together so they could know each other. But then as they got together, they saw a need, and the need was the community, keeping our community safe and bringing more African Americans on this job. So the message has not changed. The leadership has changed, but we still have a responsibility. Now, I'll tell you this, if it wasn't for the Club Values, there will be the Battalion Chief Lisa Forrest. I tell the story all the time, and I'll tell it over and over again. Club Values was the one that knocked on my door and said, the city of Philadelphia is looking for you. So I feel like, it wasn't by accident. So now that they were the ones that came and got me, I have to make sure that I go and get somebody else. And that's what we all have to do. Each one, we have to reach one. And when we get into these positions, we're not supposed to be in these positions alone. As we climb up, you're supposed to bring other people up. And that's what I've been trying to do. And the organization as a whole, just trying to bring, people up.
And with that in mind, where do you see Club Valiants going in the future? Where do you think they're headed?
Club Valiants is here to stay. It's funny, Club Valiants was very strong when there were a lot of social things going on. And, the fight was out there. So things became better and people kind of stepped back because, a lot of times people don't come out unless something is going on. If it's some type of controversy, then that's when they want to do stuff, but when everything is going well, sometimes people take a back seat and prioritize some other things. And of course, we're experiencing some nostalgic moments, so to speak, but at the same time, we see the need that there's still a need even after these 60 years. So Club Valiants is going to keep the fire burning for justice, which is the IABPFF model. And we're going to continue bringing, we don't have third generation. We're still on second generation firefighters. So I look forward to the day till we have third or fourth or fifth generation firefighters making a difference in the fire department. So we're here to stay, and we're going to bring more. People want to have more diversity in the fire service. So everybody brings something to the table, but you don't know what they're bringing to the table unless they get invited to the table.
Absolutely. Well, with that in mind, if someone were interested in becoming a Valiants member or learning more about the organization, how would they go about that?
Okay, we are on social media outlets. We have a page. Now, you cannot become a Valiant member unless you are on the fire department. So whether you're a paramedic, firefighter, or EMT, that's how you become a Valiant member. But that doesn't mean you can't be connected to us. Our website is Club Valiants Inc. .com. I'm giving you the email address. I'm sorry. clubvaliantsinc.com. And that is our email address, clubvaliantsinc@gmail.com. Also, if you just type in Club Valiants and it'll come up, we're on Instagram. We're not on Twitter yet. We're working on that. YouTube page, and we are on Facebook. So look us up. All you have to do is type in our name, and every social media outlet that we're on, it will come up.
Okay, excellent. Well, Chief, I wish we had more time because there's so much more, so many more things I wanted to ask you, but this has been an awesome discussion. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Remember, fire is everyone's fight. So we can't do it alone. Fire prevention can't do it alone. The field forces can't do it alone. The community, we have to come together and make sure that we're all safe.
Absolutely. So with that in mind, remember, if you would like to find out more about us on LaSalle TV, you can check out LaSalle's social media sites. And if you're interested in learning about the Philadelphia Fire Department, visit our Facebook, Twitter, and web pages. Also, check out Fireman's Hall Museum, located at 147 North 2nd Street, and meet with our museum curator, firefighter Brian Anderson. I would like to once again thank our guests for joining us today. I also would like to thank you for tuning in and watching. So until next time, remember, fire is everyone's fight. Stay safe and remain free from fire.